Jerald, my
Yes.
guy.
Yes.
What's up, buddy?
Judgment Day is here.
Welcome to the Wisemen Say podcast, man. You know what today is?
It's Judgment Day.
Today, hell is real. I'm ready. I'm ready for this, man. I don't know about you.
I'm stoked.
Man.
First time being away from the fortress.
Yep. But listen, man, we got a lot to talk about, you know? So without further ado, welcome everybody to the Wisemen Say podcast. Man. So, really quick, I think we should touch on this. A 2-0 win against LA, right?
Yes, it was what do you want to say? A breathtaker.
Yeah, it really was. It was more so a relief because they finally closed out a game.
Yes, and it just was almost like deja vu going into halftime with the 2-0, lead. And it just was like, I'm not touching the laptop. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not.
Right. There was sorry, I'm trying to share all this out. Yeah, no, there was, a 2-0 lead at halftime. Last time we saw that happen, we lost.
Well, we drew.
Yeah, sorry, draw. Yeah. But it's definitely it was kind of a walk in the park, honestly, if you think about it.
I mean, it was the first half. Columbus played in LA's, defensive half.
Yeah.
They were everywhere in the final third. They were, it was crazy because I went back and watched the highlights of the game. I didn't watch the full game, but I didn't. I just watched the highlights. And what's going on, Connor? It just was amazing how on Malta's goal, how many Crew players were there in the box. You know what I'm saying? There was at least 4 or 5, maybe even 6 around that box as Matan was, dribbling to that end line.
Yeah. It was I thought it was going to be an own goal, to be quite honest with you.
It looked like it, even the announcer said it.
Yeah, definitely. But
when you actually freeze it and you zoom in, you see it hit his shoulder.
Yeah, there was a small. I was watching what was it, instant replay, and David Goss was talking about there could be a shot for a handball on Malde but there wasn't clear evidence that it did hit his hand and whatnot. So for those who haven't watched instant replay, check that out and see what your take is on it. But other than that, they knew how to close out a game.
They got their street smarts back, right?
Yeah, they had that savviness with them. But no, what were your general thoughts on the game?
General thoughts, they did exactly what I predicted that they were going to do. They shut Pooj down. They made
He's
him
an angry little man all night.
Listen, he got the Ted Uncle treatment in full effect. Now he knows how Columbus feels whenever Ted Uncle refs. But no, they shut him down. And then Chicharito, honestly, outside of that one chance that he had, Chicharito was a non-factor.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I said, you would have to do. And they were walling him off and Pooj off. You know what I'm saying? So it frustrated their offensive attack. And then when Columbus actually slowed the game down to their pace that they wanted to play and then attack whenever they felt like attacking, LA didn't have any idea, what to do.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show like what their season is like.
Lucas Zelleran back in the lineup this past Wednesday. He gets a goal off a wonderful, wonderful ball from Cucho.
A chef's kiss of a pass, though.
Oh man, what a goal that was! What a pass! What a goal! Just everything happened right on that play.
Whoever taught Cucho how to sew showed him the right way, because the way he threaded that needle between the defenders, like you were telling, like you saw it a little different than what I did, but the way that if he would have went one way, the defender was there. If he would have went another one, the defender was there. But the way that he threaded it in between them to a wide open, unmarked Lucas Zelleran, and it just was off to the races from there. Even the defender that was trying to come in had no chance because of his angle.
Yeah. And then obviously, we talked on it, but Malde Amundsen. That guy's already adapting to Columbus.
He's a crew legend now. The way that he just came in, and it just his energy, and he's a true left-footed, center back, and that's what Columbus was missing. Being able to make those passes off your left foot and not have to stop and come back and pass it with your right. So him able to just do that straight up off his left foot creates so many chances. And we've seen that. And his footwork is unbelievable.
LA, they obviously lost. And I'm sorry, they won their last match, but obviously lost this one. Now they play today. I can't remember who they play today. I can't remember who they played today.
We'll find out in prediction time.
Yeah, we'll get that later. But the most anticipated match that everybody is waiting for, today's Derby Day.
Hell is real.
Hell is real. Columbus Crew away at FC Cincinnati tonight. We'll be going. We'll be there. What are you looking for in this match today?
Man, there's so much to look forward to in this match. It's a rivalry game, and if anyone knows what rivalries are about, it's the state of Ohio. Indian, can't call them the Indians now. Guardians and Reds, Ohio State, Michigan, Columbus and KFC, Ohio University and Ohio State, Miami, what I'm saying? The list goes on, right? The state of Ohio knows how to do a rivalry. So in the rivalries, there's a lot at stake, especially this year that both teams are good. Finally, FC Cincinnati is not in the basement and eating their dinner with wooden spoons anymore. And they're on top of the East right now. They got a double-headed dragon with Acosta and Vasquez.
Yep.
So those are two dual threats that it's hard to contain them. I'm gonna just say that it's hard to contain them.
I think. Oh wait, hang on. All right, so Spicy Scott mentions, can Crew win? Absolutely. Who is favored? I'm sorry, but it is Cincinnati. That is correct. Regardless of what Noonan says, and I like Noonan, I'm glad he got his first ring with us. I watched enough FCC games this season to see that he has emphasized defensive responsibility. While Noonan claims to prioritize ball possession, it doesn't seem to be the most crucial aspect of his game model like it is for Nanzi. More importantly, he doesn't want to rely on the quote last team that scores wins end quote mentality anymore. Instead, they sit back, defend responsibly, and aim to counterattack. It's widely known that FCC has had less than 50% possession throughout the season. I understand that they were missing Acosta in the St. Louis game, but but I think that's the most important part of the story. They had 57% possession in that match, but they conceded an early goal and played right into St. Louis's hands. Unfortunately, this doesn't bode well for us. St. Louis's game model is the complete opposite of the Crew's. While they played into St. Louis's strengths, Cincinnati aims to control the game defensively and rely on counterattacks similar to what Charlotte, New England, and other teams have done recently. And they might be better at it. If the Crew defeat them, they'll have to beat FCC in a way no one has managed yet, which is correct.
Yes.
I think I was talking with Jeff about this on the Cincy Soccer Talk. I mean, there's no denying that this team is good. There's no denying that they're good because they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the main thing is how can the defense handle Brandon Vasquez, especially if we're playing a 3-back.
This is the beauty of Nancy's system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even running the 3-4-2-1, the way that he can maneuver the formation, right?
Yeah.
Will make you look like it's a 4-3-3, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, a 4-3-2-1 or a 4-3-1-2. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of Nancy's system. You know what I'm saying? So you know, yes, he could come out with the 3-4-2-1, right? But once that whistle is blown, how is it shifted? And you know, I believe it was you that asked him about. Yeah, it was you that asked him about the subs, right? I believe it was after the Orlando match. Asked about, you know, what did you see?
Why take so long to make so? Yeah.
And he made a comment of it's how the game was going, right?
Yeah.
So he necessarily doesn't have to make a sub. You know, you don't want to make subs in the first half, obviously, right?
Yep.
But depending on how the game is, after the first 10 minutes and Nancy's sitting there with his clipboard and the dry erase board there, and he sees how the game is being played right now from Cincinnati, he can change up tactically to where it goes from a 3-4-2-1 to a 4-3-3, a 5-2-3. You know what I'm saying? So you never know how his formations are actually truly going to be ran.
Yeah.
You know,
I think, especially with the amount of players that he has, he can tweak everything a way that he wants to, right? And it'll still work. But how can they counteract Cincinnati? That's the biggest thing, is how can they counteract Cincinnati? Cincinnati is undefeated at home so far this year.
So the way to counteract Cincinnati is to, you know what I'm saying, to play on their overreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they actually go on the counter, they go over. You know what I'm saying? So if you're able to do quick, decisive passing, you know, get the, you know, dispossess them of the ball and hit those open channels that are diagonal, because that's where Cincinnati is vulnerable, and you can tell they're vulnerable to that diagonal ball.
Yeah.
So if you're able to dispossess them and hit a quick diagonal ball to, you know, Matan or Cucho or whoever Nancy has up front, right? Mm-hmm. Cincinnati doesn't, you know, they don't have the I'm not going to say they don't have the closing speed, but the get back speed back to defense when they're on the counter attack.
Yeah. Looking in general of this matchup and its recent history, we've only lost one time to Cincinnati in MLS play. And that was a 2-1 win back in October of 2020 when Cincinnati still played at Nippert Stadium. However, Cincinnati hasn't lost any of its last 4 home matches against the Crew. When they've won 1 and drew 3. after Columbus won its first away match in the series in 2019. And that was
That's
a 3-1 win in August.
And I believe last year, who was it that tied it up? Oh, wait, that's Steven Moreira, right?
Yeah. Yep.
He got ice in his veins, so he knows what this game is about.
There are going to be a number of players who will experience Hell is Real for the first time as a MLS player. If you are in this position, right, what are your thoughts going into this match? Your first time playing against Cincinnati in MLS.
I'm trying to tune it out. Because if I'm we're both former sports players, correct? We both played.
I still play, but yes.
Well, you as far as at a speed like what they play in MLS, right?
Yes.
So you know what it means to play a rival. You know all the emotions that come with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if with being a first time being in this rivalry game, you have so much emotion going on, right? On top of you're trying to prepare yourself to mentally, put into action what you trained all week and what you've been training all season. Then you get to the stadium. Time starts ticking away. You hear the whir of the crowds and everything. And it's just those jitters coming. Like, I want to be on the field. I can't wait to get out there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to block that out. You almost have to be heartless and immune to your surroundings. Coming into a rivalry game. Oh, you look like you got some breaking news over there. You want to share with the class?
It's not really Hell is Real or anything like that, but according to Bailey Johnson, sources say Crew 96 U17 Academy midfielder Taha Habron has signed a pro contract with Crew 2.
Yes, love it. He's a stud. He deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, continue. I saw that and it was kind of taken aback by it. That's actually well deserved.
I was going to bring it up later in the show because I already saw it, but
Oh, well, I was watching Manchester United, so
hey, they're winning. My ticket is looking good. No, but you have to be cold-hearted, heartless, immune to the surroundings around you in a rivalry game, right? Because if you don't, it's going to get in your head and it's going to affect your play. We saw that all last year when the team got frustrated, how bad they played after that.
Yeah. I mean, take a look at the away leg last year, right? You're down, what was it, 2-0?
Yeah.
2-0. And you get one back from Derek Etienne Jr. Questionable, big controversy in that. And then you get the rocket of a shot from Moreira, right?
The French assassin.
It's almost as if they had a match after the first goal, a match lit, and got them into gear. With the way that the season has gone this year, right? You're coming off of your first win in what,
5 matches?
Yeah, 5 matches. Have they started to right the ship? Possibly. Right? However, it's their kind of story to tell how this match is going to go. It's their way of how this is going to go. Are they going to come out of the gate swinging? Or are they going to settle into the match? Against Orlando, it took 5-10 minutes for them to settle into the match because Orlando was just hounding them in their defensive end. Are they going to come out swinging like they normally do? Or are they going to settle into the match and see how Cincinnati's going to play?
It could be a combination of both. Depending on how the coin toss goes, see who gets ball first. If Columbus gets the ball first, look for them to come out on the front foot quick, fast, and see if they could get that fast goal. If they can't get a goal within, I say, the first 15 minutes, watch for Columbus to drop back.
Yeah.
Watch for them to watch for them to drop back and let Cincinnati come to them. You know what I'm saying? To where they see if Cincinnati's going to make the first mistake.
Yeah.
But if they don't get the ball first, I believe they sit back and let the game come to them.
Columbus?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But here's the thing, though. If they let the game come to them, then Cincinnati's just going to have a field day.
Not necessarily. Because if they don't get the ball at the first kick, right? I believe if Columbus will sit back for probably about the first 15 minutes in, right? Just to see how Cincinnati's going to play. And then that's where you'll see pedal to the floor, balls to the wall.
Yeah. Just looking at, stats, Cincinnati is very good defensively. Very good defensively. 56.3 of the duels won. 12. These are, I assume these are percentages or average. Average 12 tackles won, 22 clearances. We're a little bit more disciplined than they are, as far as yellow and red cards, but offensively, the pendulum swings our way. Percentage average 58%, 14.2 shots, 4 block shots. I don't think that's a good stat. I'm not sure. 523.2 total passes and a passing accuracy percentage of 85%. So offensively, it swings in our favor. Defensively, it swings in their favor. So it's going to be an even game.
It is, but that's what I said. Like, if they don't get the ball to start the game, right?
Yeah. The
Crew will sit back because Cincinnati knows that, Columbus's defense could be shaky, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Columbus sits back and allows Cincinnati to make the first move, right, that will show Nancy how Cincinnati and Pat Noonan wants to play, right? So then that allows you to change up tactically and technically against how they want to, how Cincinnati is attacking offensively, right?
Yeah.
And you just read our offensive stats for the Crew. 85% passing accuracy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we make those crisp, some of those clean, precise, precision passing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're going to beat Cincinnati.
I kind of agree with that. However, I'm more concerned about the duels won in favor of Cincinnati. 56.3 as opposed to our 50.8. That's, whether we get dispossessed or, aerial duels or something like that. I think that's going to be the most worrisome part, because if you take these defensive stats right here and put them up against our offensive stats, it may be more so that Cincinnati is going to have more of the ball than anything. And then we're going to be the ones that are playing playing catch up.
So last year's game in Cincinnati, the first half, Cincinnati did a good job of shutting down Darlington, right? Once Darlington started going and directing that midfield, right? Cincinnati couldn't, had trouble.
Yeah.
Case in point, Derek's goal, and then the French assassin, Steven Moreira. I think that's going to stick with him from now on, the French assassin. But it's one of those to where now you have a more experienced Aiden Morris now in that midfield with Darlington.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have a rejuvenated Alex Matan, who, quiet as kept, is in third place in the MLS in assists. And he's not getting any mentions about it.
He's the most underrated player Crew have.
He is. I mean, not only is he the shortest one, but he's the most underrated player that the Crew have, and I'll say this: he's probably one of the most underrated players in the MLS right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because nobody's really taking him serious. And already at this point of the season, he's already third in assists. I mean, the kid's got skates on his feet. How many times do you sit up in that box and Alex has the ball and he's took somebody's lunch money?
Any time that he megs somebody, I use the hashtag Matan Megs.
And he's got a shirt after him now. Hail Matan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Crew fans see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just one of those where he's the most underrated. And I think that having the more experienced Aiden Morris in the midfield, Darlington, who loves how the team is playing now. You could tell with some of the interviews and how he's playing out there on the field as well.
Mm-hmm.
Utilizing a rejuvenated Alex Matan, right? The Lucho connection is alive and well with Lucas and Cucho.
Yeah.
Then you've got the likes of a young, Jolly Green Giant Philip Clinton, who's honestly, he's one of the best defenders we got. And it just took him being switched to that center back position for him to really shine.
Yeah.
You got Steven, the French assassin on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who loves dicing things and just killing the competition in front of him. You got a young Mo Farsi who we've seen go from a boy to a man out there on that wing, right? There's so many different chess pieces out there this year, and having a coach that does not mind changing up, how he attacks tactically,
mm-hmm.
and how he defends tactically. That this game right here is going to determine the season for both teams.
I think this also determines how well the second leg is going to go. if it goes the way that I think it's going to go, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If it goes the way I think it's going to go, the second leg back in Columbus is going to be absolutely mental.
It is, but that's what I'm saying. This matchup right here tonight, this is going to determine where both teams are going to be in the postseason.
Yeah.
Right. You're talking about Cincinnati, who's leading the East right now, You got Columbus, who sits, I believe, in 5th place right now.
I think so. Let me look really quick. Standings, conference. Yes, 5th.
So we sit 5th, right?
Yep.
We're not too far behind Cincinnati.
9 points.
3 games, right?
Yep.
So first place in the East is up for grabs, honestly, right now.
Yeah, and I mean we're also we're about to be 13 games in out of 30 out of what 34.
Yeah.
So we have 21 left.
Yeah,
about to have 21 left.
But it's still, being in that top spot, it sort of gives you a little more momentum each week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to compete for that supporter shield. You want to compete for top in the conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want, at the end of the season, you want to have that conference, trophy. Hey, we're 2023 conference, regular season conference, champions. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to sit in that top spot for as long as you can.
Yeah. You want to have home field advantage in the playoffs.
Exactly. And and everybody knows that Columbus is one of those cities you don't want to play a playoff game in.
Cool, especially with lower.com and how loud that place gets.
4 straight sellouts.
I didn't think Windsor was going to be a sellout. I didn't think Windsor was going to be a sellout, to be quite honest with you. But here we are sitting at 20,000 some odd number of tickets sold, and it's a sellout.
It was 20,198, I think it was.
I don't remember. I'd have to go back on Twitter and look.
I got the number, but it was over 20,000 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like I remember sitting up at in the box and just seeing the sea of black and gold just keep coming in, even after the match had already started at 7:30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it just was like, I mean, they had to fight through traffic with the Clipper game that was there.
20,192, 4th consecutive, 5th of the season. The last time Columbus sold out 4 times in a row was last season from June 18th to July 23rd.
There you have it.
So, I mean, but that's a tribute to how well this, I mean, yeah, sure, we're sitting 5th in the East, but this team is actually playing very good. It's completely different. What I was telling Jeff on Cincy Soccer Talk this past Thursday was, the change in everything that has happened. Last year we kept playing 4-2-3-1s, predictable, etc., etc. Nancy has given this team a whole new makeover, right? Especially with the way that he plays and who he plays. He plays the young guys, right? The young guys that, develop as games go on, right? With a little bit of the veterans thrown in here and there, whatever. But these guys are just, they're doing really well for what they're given so far this season and Nancy's first season. They're playing really well. Now, going up against the likes of Cincinnati, who is playing absolutely crazy right now, it's a toss-up.
Hey,
it's a toss-up.
I asked him how, he loved the, what about, the rivalry, between Columbus and Cincinnati, and he said he loves it. His biggest rival was Toronto when he was up there coaching for Montreal. So he knows what it's like to, to coach and rivalry games. So this is going to be a test for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And now how Columbus fans are, right? So a lot of them are Buckeye fans. When you don't do well in a rivalry game, what's the first thing that happens?
I already know. Yeah,
coach has got to go. That's not the case here.
But here's the thing, though: we play the team twice, not once, like football.
Still, you know how, he couldn't, the crew's got to go 2-0 against the rival. You know what I'm saying?
That's the expectation.
And that's the same thing with everything, everything else in the state of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nancy has brought a different life to the team where we're seeing more unity in the team. I.e., the example of the team arrives on a bus.
Yep.
Dressed in the same uniform. The same outfit. Showing that solidarity. So it doesn't matter if you're getting paid $9 million or you're getting paid $950,000. Everybody's wearing the same thing.
Yep.
And you come in on one vehicle, and that's a charter bus. So the unity and the brotherhood of the team is strong. And we were sitting there, when Cucho came out, we were looking to see how he was going to react.
Mm-hmm.
When he was brought out. He didn't react, like the Orlando match, right?
Right.
But after the match in the Orlando one, it took him a long time to come up off that bench to go sing, to go out there and congrat, with the team, right? This time, he was up off the bench and was front and center in the line singing Wisemen Say. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was one of those where he just needed a cooling down period, and the brotherhood is back. First person to go congratulate Lucas on the goal. Who was it? Cucho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They brought the fusion dance back. Love it.
I was getting a sense of not annoyance, but irritability from Cucho after the Miami match. Right?
And it was more irritability with himself.
Yeah. Yep. And I've noticed. So now the question begs, how do you think they'll line up today?
I think they might bring out the same lineup they did against LA.
With Cucho. Cucho played more of a wing spot. I mean, from the looks of it, at least.
I think they come out with the same lineup, right? With Christian, Cucho, and Lucas up there. Because all three of those can rotate.
Yeah.
Lucas could play a 9, Cucho could play a 10, Christian, you know what I'm saying? It can all rotate.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't know, because you want Farsi out there.
You do, yes.
You want Farsi out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think so. If they don't go with the formation and the lineup like Wednesday, I think it would be like the Orlando matchup, right?
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Just because I like when Cucho comes out the middle, right?
He needs to be in the box more.
Yes, he does.
He needs to be in the box more.
I think by him coming out of the middle, though, that gets him into the box more.
Yeah.
Because, usually if he has to play wide, it's almost using him as a wingback.
Yeah. Or a winger at that.
Yeah.
Right. I think he needs to be in the box more. I think if you're going to put anybody at that position, it needs to stick with Malde and Farsi.
Yes.
And just keep Lucas and Matan here.
Yep.
With Cucho at the top. He needs to be in the box at all times. And I promise, if he pulls off a bicycle kick today,
he's been working on it.
If he pulls off a bicycle kick today, that's going to be absolutely insane. And I am absolutely here for it.
Can we get the fusion dance in Cincinnati?
I would hope so. Right in front of the Bailey. Right in front of the Bailey. Right in front of the Bailey. Next thing you know, there's gonna be 2 beer cans thrown. He's gonna catch them both.
Well, I mean, you heard what he said after the LA game.
Yeah.
He said, first and foremost, hopefully we win, and maybe this time it'll be 2.
Yep.
Hey, I love it. And but you just see you interviewing him though, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. After the LA game, he seemed more relaxed.
Yeah.
And not uptight.
Yeah. I think even when we were doing Lucas's interview and whatnot, I think so. I can't remember who brought up the fusion. I think it was Bailey. Mentioned it, and then you hear somebody in the background laughing, and it's Cucho sitting at his locker. it's Cucho sitting at his locker, and big smile on his face.
Hey, love it. You know, if we could get those 2 rock stars together back on the stage, again,
mm-hmm.
you know, all on one accord, then man. It's look out below,
right?
You know, the MLS put out something about game changer, and it was about Cucho.
I saw that. Yep.
I retweeted that clip. Right. I said he got his first goal, so now the MLS has been warned. Cucho is back.
Yeah.
You know,
as he is, I think that first one. I think now he's itching for more, and I can tell that he is. I mean, this guy's been taking shots out of the random blue.
And that's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what the irritability comes from.
Yeah.
Because he got that first one. And now he's like, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more. And he's finding every which way that he can. You know, I believe Cucho's up there in the MLS in shot attempts, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I think you're right. If I can remember correctly.
You know, this man is trying to send NASA rockets, you know, from everywhere. You know, and if he connects on one, then, you know, here's the thing, though. I think with Cucho, like, he's trying to score from every spot in that box, because with him, if he scores from anywhere in that box, right, now that pulls that defense up.
Yep.
Same thing with Lucas. If Lucas hits one from 18 yards out, you know, or case in point in Charlotte, he hits one that's like 36 yards away from the goal. He hits one from there. So now whenever Lucas is right there, what does the defense have to do? They have to come forward. What's that create? That creates open voids for players to slip into channels and, you know, precision passing.
Yeah.
So I like Cucho's, you know, maybe that's his method to madness, of him shooting from every which way in the box. The only one that he hasn't tried to do is shoot one from over the back of the net, which would be funny if that went in. But, you know, he's just I love he's out there taking those shots.
One last thing before we get into predictions. Key to the game.
Be disciplined.
Please. We don't need all of our center backs being on yellow cards. Like the last game.
Don't stoop down to Cincinnati's level. Right?
Ooh, you just called Cincy out. Ooh.
Hey, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, no, discipline is key. We don't want all of our center backs being on yellows and risk getting another one.
We got Chicago next week, or Nashville next Sunday. Come on now, we need.
Yeah. We also have a midweek U.S. Open Cup match against Pittsburgh. So even I know that doesn't really matter as far as yellow cards go, but I mean, Jesus Christ, I would like to have our basic starts, our simple starting 11 for
Man.
Nashville, especially at Geodis Park.
Exactly. And you're going up against Schaffelberg and
Hani Mukhtar,
Hani Mukhtar, Walker Zimmerman,
Alex Mule.
I mean,
you're going up against like great guys.
I mean, yeah, they're thin at some of the positions, though, you know, but still, they got guys that will hurt you.
Yeah, Walker being one of them, because Walker Zimmerman's an absolute dog.
Jesus,
such a great defender. But speaking of Nashville, prediction time.
Yes, sir.
Charlotte versus Nashville.
Oh. I'm going.
Apologies for the dog, by the way.
I'm going with Nashville.
Charlotte 2-1.
Nashville 1-0.
DC United Galaxy.
Really? DC United 2-0.
Nothing draw.
Ooh.
The Turnpike Derby, Miami, Orlando.
I'm gonna have to go with Inter Miami. 2-1.
Miami 2-0. Red Bulls Montreal.
I would have loved to see, you know, the inner city, you know, derby, but you know,
the Hudson River Derby.
Yeah,
that was last week.
Yeah, should have been this week.
But however, we'll get to that when we get to that game.
I'm gonna go draw.
Red Bulls 2-1. Philly, New England.
I'm going New England 2-1.
New England 3-1. Austin, Toronto.
I don't see how this is a rival, but you know,
I mean, nobody else is a rivalry either. You mean to tell me DC and Galaxy are a rival?
Yeah.
Charlotte, Nashville.
Well, Charlotte, Nashville, I mean, it's not really that far.
But you mean to tell me that's a rivalry? A team that's been in the league, what, 2 years now?
Yeah, no.
We're on Austin, Toronto, yeah.
I'm going Toronto 1-0.
1-1 draw. Chicago, Atlanta.
This is going to be interesting to see. I'm going to go draw. 2-2 draw.
Kai Kamara 3. Thiago Almada 3.
Hey, that works.
The Texas Derby, Dallas, Houston.
See, this is a rivalry. Houston and Dallas. Give me the burn. Give me the burn. In Jesus Ferrara, we trust.
Ferrara,
tomato. 3-1.
Give me 2-2. 2-2 draw. I believe they call us the Rocky Mountain Cup.
Yes.
Colorado, Salt Lake.
Colorado's favorite at minus 105. It's in Colorado. Despite not having a good year, they still have a huge fan turnout. Give me a draw.
Give me 2-2. I'll go 2-2 with that one. St. Louis, KC.
Hey.
I think they're starting to claim this as a rivalry too.
Yeah, because depending on which Kansas City Sporting is it, if it's in Kansas or if it's in Missouri.
I want to say they're in Missouri.
I could see this as a rival. in-state rival, just like Ohio, like Columbus and Cincinnati.
Sorry, Kansas.
Oh, it's in Kansas.
Yeah.
Still, it's right there on the border.
Yeah.
It's at City Park too.
Correct.
Both teams have been, some of the fan supporters have been in turmoil because of Sporting Kansas City saying that they are the soccer capital of the world.
They're not.
Yeah, I think they should put that on the line. Drop the trademark or the patent on it. Give me St. Louis, 3-0.
St. Louis 3-1.
You're giving them a consolation?
Correct. Another California Classico, LA, San Jose.
Give me San Jose 1-0.
Again?
Yes.
San Jose over LA again?
I watched. They didn't look that good against. Who did they play last week or Wednesday?
Who, LA?
Yeah, they didn't look good.
LA played KC.
They didn't look good against KC though. Even though Denny scored, they just still didn't. They still didn't look good.
Well, yeah, it's KC. Duh. They make KC look good. I'm gonna go LAFC simply because they're at the bank. And they have the home crowd behind them, as opposed to playing in the Bay Area where the 49ers play and whatnot. I'm going to go LA 2-0.
I'm taking San Jose, just because one, they've already beaten LAFC this year, so they can hold that over their head. And they had, they found something to beat LAFC while LAFC was on that run.
Yeah.
So they hold the key right now.
You say you're going 1-0, right?
Yep.
All righty. I said 2. What did I say? I said 2-0.
Yep.
Portland, Minnesota.
The Battle of the Lumber Countries. Is Reynosa back?
He is cleared to partake in team activities, yes. Now, if he starts, that's beyond me. I don't think he starts just yet, but he was cleared to practice.
So I think he might play in the second half then. Who knows? Minnesota's coach might just say, go ahead and get out there and play the whole game. But this is in Portland. Give me Timber Joey 2-1.
Give me a 1-1 draw. I'll take a 1-1 draw. Last but not least, Cascadia, Vancouver, Seattle.
Ooh, it's in Vancouver. They're starting to play a little bit better. Seattle's starting to fall from their great start of the season. Give me Vancouver. Actually, give me a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go Seattle 2-1. 2-1. Now, the all-important game of the day.
The heavyweight fight of the day.
The main card at 7:30 tonight. Down 71 South. Columbus, Cincinnati from TQL. What you got?
Well, right now Cincinnati is favored by -125.
Of course.
Columbus is an underdog at +300 for all you betting fans out there.
So if anybody wants to build out a parlay, show us your tickets. See what you got going on for us.
That's what I'm doing right now too.
Yeah.
Columbus 3-2.
Ah, man. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this.
I know you are.
Ah, man, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I'm probably going to be the first canceled podcast host in crew history. Oh man, I love you guys. I swear I do. Cincinnati is just so good, too good. Undefeated at home so far. We are 1-3-1 on the road. Not a good road record. But both teams are playing so well, 1st and 5th respectively. Oh man, I'm just waiting on comments to roll in about me being canceled.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not cancel the show. Please. Listen, this is how I pay some bills. Come on now.
Man, I want to go draw. I want to go draw. What am I going to predict? A draw. What do I think is going to happen? I think Cincinnati is going to take it 2-1.
You should have just left it at draw.
That's what I'm saying. What do I want to happen? I want the points to be shared.
I want to win. I want the 3 points.
Look, as you should. I'm just being a realist. Given what I know and what I've seen, what do I want? I'll take a draw. And then we can win back here in Columbus and still have bragging rights. What do I think is going to happen? I think Cincinnati takes it 2-1.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you see us walking to the stadium today, please do not throw any beer cans at us. Please do not harass me if you see me next to this guy. And my life insurance is paid up, so I'm good.
And my life insurance is paid up. That's just what I think, man. That's just what I think.
I mean, but if you look at how the season is right now, that's what a lot of people would say.
Yeah.
Cincinnati 2-1 over Columbus, because they look at Columbus being in a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
New head coach. It takes about a year for a new head coach of any sport team to really sink their teeth in, right?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, with all the stars that we got on the on the team, Nancy coming in has been a hit. It's not a one-hit wonder.
Yep.
So a lot of people would, let's see here. A lot of people would pick Cincinnati over Columbus off the top. Me, I hear them chirping. I hear them barking. It's still Columbus till I die, and no matter what.
Yeah.
So I will go down with the ship if it's sinking. I do know how to swim. So please don't run us off the road either. I believe Columbus writes everything and turns their season around, and it's just up and up from here.
Yeah. But dude, we're about to leave here in a few, aren't we?
Yes.
Getting on down to Cincy. For those who are down there, if you see us, say hi. If not, tweet us your location. We will retweet you guys and show the Black and Gold community that there are crew fans that made the trip down to Cincinnati. We want to take a moment to express our gratitude to all of you listeners who have supported us this far. Your engagement, feedback, and encouragement have been truly inspiring. We couldn't do this without you. Running a podcast involves various costs, from equipment to hosting fees and everything in between. That's why I've set up a listener support link for those who would like to contribute to the growth and sustainability of the Wisemen Say podcast. Your donations, no matter how big or small, go a long way in helping us continue to produce high-quality episodes, bring on fascinating guests, and delve into topics that matter to you. It's thanks to the generosity of listeners like you that we can keep the show going and constantly improve. If you find value in what we do and would like to support the Wisemen Say podcast, please consider visiting our listener support link in our Twitter bio and at the end of or in our podcast description on Spotify. Every contribution is deeply appreciated and will be put to a good use in enhancing the podcast experience for you. We also want to remind you that there are other ways to support us. Sharing the podcast with your friends, leaving a review on your preferred podcast platform, and engaging with us on social media are all fantastic ways to spread the word about our show and help us reach a wider audience. Once again, thank you for being a part of the Wisemen Say community. We're thrilled to have you on this journey with us. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep sharing your thoughts and ideas. Together, we can continue to explore fascinating topics and have meaningful conversations. Until next time, stay curious, stay wise, and remember that your support makes all the difference. Jerald, as tradition go, Wisemen say,
only fools rush in.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Go Crew.
Let's go, Crew. See you guys later.